Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakahakwadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. And Mount Seir was a dwelling place of the biblical Edomites. The Edomites are known today as, these so-called white people, so-called Caucasians, Americans, British, Europeans, Russians, the small hats over in the Holy Land, etc., etc. And just like Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, Mount Seir is a people before it's a place. So this, chapter is prophesying to the entire nation of you Edomites. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. And real quick, how can a mountain have a hatred? So it's talking about the nation of people. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. And let's get that word perpetual in the Strongs, which is H5759, olam. And in the outline of biblical usage, it says long, duration, antiquity, futurity. So all the way from the past, to the present, to the future, forever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient, and I'm going to read the last one, everlasting, indefinite, or unending, future, eternity. So who do these Edomites have a perpetual hatred towards? And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. And the children of Israel, the true children of Israel, are known as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today. And when you look, especially within the last 500 years, look throughout the history of the children of Israel, who has been that nation that's just constantly come against them? The Edomites. And as it said, and shed their blood, shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. What, back during the Grecian captivity, back during 70 AD, during the times of colonization and the transatlantic slave trade, all the way until this present day, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. After Israel, mainly the southern kingdom, was out of slavery after the Civil War, what did you immediately have? The Reconstruction era, which saw a lot of Israelites killed. You had the birth of the Ku Klux Klan. You had the Jim Crow era. You had Black Wall Street, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, those race riots. You had Rosewood. You had a bunch of other race riots in the early 1900s, civil rights era. We can keep going. The crack epidemic, the war on drugs, the prison industrial complex, all the way until this very day, these Edomites continue to show their perpetual hatred towards you Israelites. What just happened a couple of weeks ago, that incident with Sonia Massey, and this hatred that these Edomites have towards you Israelites, again, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, it goes much deeper than skin color. It's not just because, you got a big nose, big lips, or a nappy-headed hose like Don Iba said. This goes all the way back to their forefather Esau and our forefather Jacob, dealing with the blessings and the birthright to the kingdom of heaven. This is Genesis chapter 27. I'm going to start at 37. And this is after Jacob pretended to be Esau and supplanted, the blessings from him. Just like in Genesis chapter 25, Jacob supplanted the birthright from Esau. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? So Esau was duped out of what? The kingdom of heaven, and being in a eternal rulership over all other nations with them underneath his feet. But of course, this was all through the Spirit. The Most High wanted it to play out this way. Verse 38, And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, like a little bitch. Verse 39, And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And with Esau, in this little season of his final rulership that began with the Renaissance, just look at how these Edomites are living. They're above these other nations out here. They have dwelling places in some of the most beautiful places on the face of the earth. When you look at the top trade of these natural resources, who's usually at the head of it? These Edomites, that fatness of the earth. And with the dew of heaven, what do you have? They have these satellites and low orbit space stations. Verse 40, and lest we forget, what was that saying? The eagle has landed. When Esau, so-called went to the moon, which he never went to the moon, but Esau, did gain, the dew of heaven from above by being allowed to, get to Leo, or low earth orbit. Verse 40, And by thy sword shalt thou live. Esau's other blessing, the sword, his weaponry, which he used to gain the fatness of the earth and, subject these other nations underneath him, chiefly the children of Israel. And shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Here's the key point. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, or his lahab, his mind, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob by the force of the sword. And we just got that word perpetual in Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5, which said from antiquity, to the future, indefinite. In the nation of these Edomite spirit, they still have this hatred that their forefather Esau had towards our forefather Jacob, and seek to slay us with the sword. So that's why there's never going to be a coming together of the nation of Israel and these Edomites. It's like what, they say oil and water doesn't mix. That's exactly what it's like. So that's why you constantly see this tension, these outbursts of racial violence here and there. And it's only going to get worse as Esau's kingdom collapses all around him, especially the United States of America. I did a video the other week with this Edomite looking person saying that, look, it doesn't matter who wins the presidential selections. So-called black people are going to be the main target. And hey, a lot of these Edomites, when they see that, if Donald Trump is selected, when they see that he's not really going to do anything for him because he's just a puppet like these other politicians out here, or whether Kamala gets elected, which, they're against her, hey, they're going to wild out and they're going to need somebody to vent their anger towards. Who's it going to be? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But, I opened up the video with these verses to preface an article on BIN, or Black Information Network News.com, titled White Man, So-Called White Man, Edomite Man, smiled and laughed as he ran over so-called black woman, Israelite woman, Judite woman, family says, and was published on August 19th of 2024. The hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And you can see that this Eve got wrecked. A Florida man reportedly smiled and laughed as he ran over an Israelite woman with his vehicle. According to reports, Jermaria Holycross is lucky to be alive after she was ran down by 57-year-old Boris Twillman earlier this month. Holycross, 24, was reportedly driving on a Florida highway with her brother and her boyfriend's 2 children on August 10th when a Jeep started to tailgate her. Before she could move out of the way, Holycross was rear-ended by the vehicle. She got out of her car to inspect any possible damages, which is when Twillman reportedly hit the gas and pinned her between their 2 vehicles. According to an arrest report, Twillman then dragged Holycross's body along the driver's side. When he hit the car, she got out because the traffic was stopped and she wanted to look at the damages, a family member recalled. Well, as she looks, he proceeded to look at her, smile, and laugh, and hit the gas and run her over in front of my son and her boyfriend's 2 children. Holycross's aunt, Misty Moore, emphasized that the man smiled and laughed as he hit her niece. I think the biggest thing that sticks out to her that she keeps saying is he just smiled and laughed at me as he hit me. She is very traumatized and just has this image in her head, Moore told the Tampa Bay Times. And hey, here's just another example in a long list of examples of Esau showing that perpetual hatred towards you Israelites, and it's never going to change. And we are coming into the times of Jacob's trouble when Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to visit this earth and you people on it, especially in the United States of America, for all the wickedness you've been committing. Famines, pestilences, martial law, wars, and also, race wars, racial skirmishes. This is Matthew chapter 27, 24. I'm going to read verses 7 to 8. And this is Yahushua, the Son of the Most High, telling his disciples of what would take place during the end times so that they would know, that they were living in the last days, before his second coming. And we are currently living in these times. For nation shall rise against nation. And that, that's talking about one race of people rising up against another race of people. Race wars and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. What we just read about with that woman, Sonia Massey, etc., etc. Hey, we're just in the beginning of sorrows of Esau, Edom, showing those old, 1950s, 1800s horns as we get closer and closer to the end of him losing his rulership. He's about to wild out and show you, all those horror stories you heard from your grandparents and, read about in the history books. And to you Israelites out there that still want to be in this we are the world, one race, the human race spirit, hey, you're going to get caught up in it and you're going to get put down. This is Isaiah chapter 13. I'm going to read verses 14 to 16. And it shall be as the chaste roe. And that's talking about these Edomites. When you go to Job chapter 18, it talks about the wicked and compares them to being as a chaste roe. And the wicked, according to the scriptures, are these Edomites. Read Malachi 1 verse 4, the border of wickedness. And as a sheep that no man taketh up. And while these Edomites are going to be lashing out against you Israelites and even these other heathen nations in America, hey, these other nations and Israelites, hey, they're going to have a common goal, so to speak, to come against his red ass. They shall every man turn to his own people and every one into his own land. A lot of these nations are starting to do that now. They're seeing that the economic situation in America is deteriorating, so they're going back to their home countries. Verse 15, everyone that is found shall be thrust through. Hey, these different nations of people that are left in America and you Israelites, where a lot of you have no other nation to go to. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Anybody that's trying to be amongst a nation that's not their own in these times of Jacob's trouble, and I'm not just talking to these Israelites, but these Edomites, these Moabites, the so-called Chinese, Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, etc., etc. Hey, these other nations that you're going to be found amongst, they're going to put you down. Verse 16, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. And it's going to get so raw that children are going to get deleted. Their houses shall be spoiled. There's going to be home invasions, because also there's going to be food shortages and famines out here. And their wives ravished, raped. So again, to you Israelites out here, you better take heed to the message of the prophets. Now, of course, you have to be amongst these different nations and Edomites on the job, or stuff like that. But you shouldn't be thinking that, hey, we can all come together or things are going to get better. The Most High is about to make that great separation, and those that are caught on the wrong end, hey, they're going to get put down. And you women out there of the tribes, especially you so-called black women, are going to feel it, I would damn near say the worst and the most, because, you've been Esau's pit bull, putting the Israelite man on child support, calling the cops on him to get him arrested, just doing everything you can to suck up to the so-called white man. But as we just saw in that article, and, we can read, Sonia Massey again, and we can read plenty of other examples out there on how how Zaddy is turning against you so-called black women. How these Edomites are starting to attack you, and in a lot of instances, put you to death. This is Micah chapter 7, verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? And a lot of brothers out there, the Israelite women they did deal with, were just complete demons towards them. If they told them about the truth, hey, a lot of them scoffed at it, and a lot of them left them because of the truth. Well, hey, that's going to be to your detriment. That's going to be to your judgment. And, a brother posted a video the other day on how some Eve got arrested at Walmart for stealing, I think, $15,000 from the till. And when they had her in the interrogation room, she ended up saying that, I was dealing with a man who identified as a Hebrew Israelite, but I couldn't get down with that. So I broke up with him. And look what happened to her. I think it was 2 days later after she broke up with him, she got arrested. The Most High has a lot of you Israelite women out there that have done the, Israelite men, especially, the men of the Lord dirty. Keep going. Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And what I found very interesting, even spiritual, is in that article we just read, what happened to that Eve. She got ran over, pinned to some cars, and then dragged across the street, was literally trodden down like the mire of the streets. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is not playing with you Israelites out there, especially those that still want to cling unto this American dream and go down to Egypt for help and rely on Esau Edom. That very same person you're looking to for your salvation, which, hey, let's get that real quick. Is going to be the one that in a lot of instances is going to put you down. Let me see. I think it's in Lamentations 4. Here it is. Lamentations 4:17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain, insignificant help. In our watching, we watched for a nation that could not save us. For the majority of our people, they look to Esau Edom for the answers and for help. When Hurricane Katrina happened, who were they calling for? They weren't calling for Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. They were calling for FEMA. But as it says, a nation that could not help us. Esau was set up as a whipping stick towards you Israelites, and not, to better you. Hence why you constantly see these instances of violence of these Edomites towards you Israelites. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven. And Esau, Edom, what? He's compared to as an eagle all throughout the scriptures. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. So that's pretty much it with this video. I think the point's been made. But again, we're coming into the times to where this devil is about to show that ancient, perpetual hatred towards you Israelites. And those that get caught on the wrong side of the train tracks, hey, you're going to get run over by that train. So as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala. And, I hope this video was edifying to you sincere Akim and Akwat out there. And Shalom.